We never hang at your crib. We always hang here.
Well, what about the time that,
Static Shock Season 1 Episode 8, Sons of the Fathers. Ever had a best friend that you grew up with, spend the whole time chilling at your place, the mall, or even the park, but never really spending time at their place? Well, Virgil asked that to Richie, and when he did, Richie tried to sidetrack everything, but Virgil insisted on staying over. You know, to get to know his parents, to see his room. After all, they're best friends, and Mr. Hawkins already sees Richie as one of his own. So the next day, Virgil stays over. He gets settled, and we notice Richie gets a bit nervous, looking at the time, looking at his mother with some concern, and then his father walks in. And this is where the big secret reveals itself. As soon as Richie's father steps in and sees Virgil for the first time, he instantly dislikes him.
Good to finally meet you.
hey, Dad, this is my friend Virgil. Remember, I told you about him?
Not nearly enough.
When they all sit together to have dinner, you can feel the tension. Everybody is uncomfortable, and Virgil read the room, but I think he wanted to test out if his feelings were true. So he mentions a rap album.
I brought over the latest MC Rapwell CD. It is slamming.
Yeah, we'll crank it after dinner.
There will be no rap played in this house.
John, please.
Maggie, that music teaches kids to disrespect their parents.
Some rap is positive, Mr. Foley.
It's all garbage. Tells kids to write on walls, stay out past curfews. It tears down everything guys like me built. Look around you, Dakota's gone to pot. Well, not in my house.
Later, when Virgil goes to the bathroom to brush his teeth, he overhears Mr. Foley talking
And
about
now I
him.
see why Richie acts like a hood, Maggie. That kid's a bad influence. All his kind are.
Keep your voice down.
It's bad enough I gotta deal with them all day long. Now one of them's in my house.
Virgil then decides to not be around that energy, that hatred, and he decides to walk home at night.
My best friend's gone because of you and your stupid racism. I hate you!
Hey!
The next day, while looking out the window and replaying what happened that night before, his father comes down to talk to him, and he tells him what he needed to hear.
Richie's made up his own mind about who to like. He's broken his father's cycle of intolerance.
I had no clue Richie was dealing with something this whacked.
He's gonna need your friendship now more than ever.
Richie's mom then calls Virgil's house number and asks Virgil if he's seen Richie since he ran away from home last night. Virgil then decides to find him as Static. Meanwhile, we cut to Mr. Foley going to the community center, knowing that Mr. Hawkins is the director, and that Richie always goes to the community center to help out too.
Where else does Richie hang out? Check with his other friends?
I don't know any of his friends. Richie always goes on and on about Virgil and his cool dad, but never even told me you were...
African American? Would that have made a difference to you, Foley? Or should it have?
This is a waste of my time.
Got a few ideas about where he might go.
I don't want your help, Hawkins.
You need my help, like it or not.
Static then finds Richie and they talk about what happened.
Why should I go back? He hates me. He disses everything I like. And what he said about you, well, that was the last straw. Man, you should be madder than me.
Yeah, it hurt. But he's your dad. You and me, we've been through too much together to let this get in the way. We're always gonna be aces, no matter what.
For real?
Realer than real. Now hop on so we can break out of here.
Static hears some sirens and tells Richie to go home while he goes sees what's happening. Ebon then kidnaps Richie, while Mr. Hawkins and Mr. Foley go through the abandoned projects where some teenagers hide out. They get tipped to go to another building. While saving the last person in the building, Static then overhears his radio go off.
If you're so big and bad, why do you live in the musty old Ferris Row projects, huh?
You put a roof over their heads, you feed them 3 squares a day, and this is the thanks.
Richie wasn't the only boy who ran away from you last.
What your son heard, Hawkins. I wasn't talking about him.
No, you were talking about his kind, that's all. Well, I know your kind, Foley. I've seen your kind all my life. A fine, upstanding bigot. His nose so close to the grindstone he can't see anything else. Meanwhile, the world changes and grows, and he's blind to it. Ignorant. And proud of that, too. And you know the worst part?
I'm sure you'll tell me.
You've got a terrific son.
But then Mr. Hawkins and Mr. Foley hear the commotion and rush in to help Richie. And just before things get out of hand while fighting Ebon and Shiv, Static flies in to help out. When Mr. Foley throws a chair at Ebon and Ebon immediately hits him back, Richie cries out and rushes to him.
Son, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
In all, it was Mr. Hawkins that made Mr. Foley realize his way of thinking was wrong. See, one of the biggest things about Static Shock and the similarities it had with other black-led TV shows such as Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and others is that it didn't overlook this topic. Instead, it wanted to tackle it, and in the end, it always always addressed it to that particular character or to the other characters.
That bogus confession out of them. But those two boys haven't stolen a thing from anyone. This has got to be the biggest amateur operation I have seen since Mayberry RFD.
Officers, I'm sure we can clear this whole matter up quite easily.
Could you please sit down? We're busy now.
Oh, honey, we're about to get very busy.
Sit down.
Hey, you don't talk to my wife like that.
Now, wait a minute, buddy. Who the hell do you think you're talking?
Who the hell do you think you're talking to?
What's going on here? Can I help you, sir?
I'm Henry Firth.
Good news, Mr. Firth. Your car is safe and sound, and we've got the perpetrators.
Those aren't the perpetrators. Those are my partner's son and nephew.
Partner?
Legal partner. I've got a few questions for you. When you got this alleged confession from these two young men, did they have a lawyer present? No, because I'm their lawyer. Did you notify their parents? No, because we're their parents. So, officer, don't tell us to wait, and don't tell us to sit down. Just open that damn cell and let those two boys out of there. I'm gonna tie this place up with so much litigation that your grandchildren are gonna need lawyers.
Say, did you happen to pull over a 77 Dodge Monaco? The driver was a black teenager.
Yeah. Ran a stop sign.
It was failure to signal.
Whatever. Who are you, the activist on the force?
No, I'm a father on the force, and that kid was my son.
I can see you being upset and all, but hey, it was your kid that messed up, so don't try and take it out on me, all right?
No, it's not all right. And do you know why it's not all right, Evans? Because I think that you rousted my son.
No way. He fit the description of a carjacker we've been looking for.
That will not cut Evans, because I am familiar with all of the outstanding carjacking bulletins, and not one suspect even remotely resembles my son.
Come on, give me a break. It's dark, it's a black guy.
Oh, case closed. Lock him up.
You know, bottom line, your kid was in the wrong part of town.
The wrong part of town?
Yeah.
Oh, so what are you saying? That black kids aren't allowed in white neighborhoods?
Come on, they wouldn't be there unless they were looking for trouble. And you better talk to your kid. He gave me a lot of lip.
Oh? Yeah. Is that why you made him get out of his car? Is that why you forced him to lie down? Is that why you cuffed him?
Let me know what you think about this episode and hit that follow button if you haven't yet. Till then, see you next time.